Hey everyone, welcome back to Ruda 360. And so, yeah, I'm still here yapping about procrastination and perfectionism and every other factor or life's issues that delays people's progress or stops that blessing or those breakthroughs from coming to pass. So today we're going to dissect the psychological trap of high achieving intellectuals. And again, we'll continue talking about perfectionism because, like I said previously, we love to claim perfectionism as a badge of honor when we go for interviews or when we meet people we're trying to maybe attract into our business. We say things like, our greatest weakness is that we're too perfect. We want things to be too perfect, and we know that is not right. Or even if it's right, we know somewhere deep within our heart that that may not actually be true. Because secretly we smile because we're thinking that may imply flawless standards. But if you strip it away, the intellectual vanity, and you decide to look at raw data, it is procrastination. Perfectionism is a fancy word for procrastination. Because it's that sophisticated and socially approved defense mechanism, that somehow has been designed to keep you stagnant, while it's designed to keep you safe, is keeping you stagnant and ultimately broke. Because when you refuse to launch that business or that research funding proposal, put that your content out there or your brand into the world, because you think it is not quite ready yet, you are not demonstrating high standards, my friend. You are showing a profound fear of exposure. What will people say? You're indirectly seeking validation. So let's go back. Let's look at the economic and psychological burden that this perfect illusion has on us. Because yes, perfectionism actually stalls your momentum. To me, where I am coming from, I will tell you that perfectionism may be acting as a trauma response. Because, yeah, if you're coming from a place where you have to do everything right to be loved, you will feel that, okay, if that business proposal or if that business is not perfect in your own standard, then it will not be good. Then people will not validate it. To break this cycle, if your own perfectionism is a result of trauma, to break this cycle, we have to look at healing. One of the pillars we mentioned before when we're talking about procrastination. We have to check and ask why our brain is weaponizing the concept of perfection against the economy, against our bank accounts, against, how the bills we need to pay, against the impact you need to make in the world, against people that are looking up to you for some form of salvation. That's the economic part. Psychologically, perfectionism is like deeply ingrained in trauma. Like I said, it's a trauma response to fear of judgment, fear of failure, or fear of the loss of control. Because especially if you're a high achiever, you would think your brain would have been conditioned, right? And conditioned to tie, your self-worth, right, to your output. So if your output is flawless, you think that you're safe from criticism. Therefore, your subconscious mind rationalizes that, okay, as long as the project remains incomplete, as long as it stays hidden in your laptop or on your draft on your tables, like I have so many on my table right now, or your private thoughts. For some people that not even write it down, then it cannot fail or it cannot be judged. Of course, because in your mind, you'll be thinking whatever cannot be judged cannot fail, or whatever cannot fail cannot be judged. So whatever is not out there cannot be judged. Therefore, there is no room for failure, which is not totally true. What you're doing to yourself is that you're protecting your ego at the expense of your economy. You are protecting your ego at the expense of the impact you would make in this world. You are choosing like the safe comfort of hidden potentials over the vulnerable reality of visible progress. Because the analysis that they don't tell you, maybe your friends in finance or in the market, what they don't tell you is that the market does not reward geniuses. It doesn't reward hidden geniuses. I mean, it rewards data. It rewards what you can show. So when you withhold your work from the world under the guise of refining it or it's not ready yet, you are studying yourself on that very feedback mechanisms or feedback loops that are required to actually make it excellent. It's just like when you write a research paper, you know you're done. You know you've tried. You and your co-authors have worked on it. You've thought about it. You've thought deeply about your methods, your rationale for even doing that study and writing, and your results. You've presented everything well. You've discussed properly, and you've concluded well, written your abstract well. The best thing to do is just to submit to the journal. If it's accepted, what they would do, even if there's going to be corrections, what they would do is that they review it, and that paper will come back with either minor or major corrections. Now, those major corrections are there to make your work stronger. That is how it is with any other project. If you don't put it out there, you're starving it. You're starving yourself. You're starving your brand. You're starving your name from actually being that thing or actually making that impact you're supposed to make. You're staying low because you're slow. You decided to be slow, and you being slow is making you broke. At least for some people, it's making you broke. It's making you stay hidden. It's making you unseen. Where you're supposed to be preferring solutions, you're hiding. And that place where you're supposed to prefer, they are missing out because you're not filling the gap. You're not fulfilling the purpose of you being there. For instance, you belong to a community, some form of community, maybe a community in diaspora, for instance, and you are good at talking, you're good at working with people, you have some skills that are needed in your community's association, but then you keep hiding because you feel you're not good enough. You keep hiding because you feel, what would they say? The people that know me before, how would they talk about me? This community, they gossip a lot, they're going to gossip me. You're staying low, and your community will be missing out on your impact. You too, you will remain hidden because that is what you decided to do. Why? Because you've allowed perfectionism to rule you. You've allowed the thought of refining or re-refining what was already refined to keep you slow and to keep you low and to keep you broke most of the times. See, before I continue, I just want to say something. Go put your work out there. Make real impact. You'll be surprised what will come out of putting your brand out there, or putting your voice out there, or putting your work out there. Now, let's look at the economic or the cost of untested ideas, the economic bottlenecks of all this. I'm just going to imagine this. When you delay execution, right? You delay execution because you're chasing perfection. What it does is that what you're doing to yourself, in fact, is that you're operating under a massive blind spot, like a massive intellectual blind spot. And because what you're assuming that your internal standard of perfect, right, matches what your community or what your market actually needs. But it's not true. People that believe in God, if they say God does not call the perfect, he perfects the called. Or they say God does not call people that are already prepared, right? He calls people and begin to work on them and begin to prepare them. So real alignment is going to be like co-designed, co-created, co-innovated, right? If you want to say, with your audience, with the people that are listening to you. So every month you spend refining that idea, tweaking that framework, rewriting that script, or over analyzing a digital product in isolation. What you do is you are giving that month a negative return of investment, a negative ROI, because you are not putting it out there. So nothing is coming back to you. You're burning the cognitive bandwidth on assumptions. It's just there, just assumptions. And the assumption is because you're not even sharing your assumptions with people, or people that, with serious people. You're not, some of us are so private and keep things so hidden that many of our really serious ideas are probably in the trash right now because we didn't even know when we trashed them. True thinkers, sovereign thinkers understand that a flawed life project provides 100 times more data and financial momentum than a flawless, unreleased theory in the book, on the paper, on your Excel sheet. Put it live, put it out there. Because if you're waiting to feel completely safe and satisfied before you step out, my brother and my sister, you will wait forever, because you would have to now begin to deal with that need for validation. Friends, you have to heal the need for external validation. You have to heal the need for what will people say. You have to, realize that something done is the only sustainable foundation for something being better. I'm going to stop here and I'll continue in the next video. See ya. Bye.